Hi, welcome to the Ultra Running Magazine podcast. I'm your host, Scotty Sando. Think of me as being like an expired gel packet. I may seem questionable at first, but you know what? Wasn't that bad. And we have a great show for you today. But before we get there, I want to let you know about a great giveaway going on right now at ultrarunning.com during the month of May. We're giving away a ultra prize package worth over $3,000, you guys, to one lucky subscriber. It's our way of saying thank you for supporting the magazine over the past 41 years. This prize package includes a Coros $400 gift card. I love my Coros watch. Drymax Sports bundle worth like $400. Victory Designs Grizzly Adventure Pack. Let Keep Holes Tail and Nutrition Package. Ufos Ooh Can Do shoes. That's so much fun to say. Osprey Hydration Vest. And a lifetime subscription to Ultra Running Magazine and so much more. Now, here's what you can do. You have to subscribe or renew to the magazine during the month of May to be automatically entered to win. That's all it is. Oh, and by the way, you do that this month, we'll give you an extra 25% off the issue. All right, you guys. So go get it and good luck. Okay. In today's episode, we're joined by 20-year-old Zach Bates, who just finished the Canyons 100K a few weeks ago over in Auburn, California. Now, finishing Canyons at such a young age is quite the feat, but what makes Zach's story so special is that he's on the autism spectrum, which you're about to hear is both powerful and beautiful. Get this, back in May 2021, Zach went to his parents and said, I want to run a 100-mile race. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah. So having zero ultra experience and only 6 months to prepare, Zach accomplished his goal, finishing the Coldwater Rumble 100 in Arizona. Now, as it turns out, Zach's autism would be the catalyst to vault him into the ultra running scene, as his passion and talent for the sport is nothing short of mind-blowing. And he's doing it while inspiring a nation in the process. Zach is joined by his mom, Rana, an important figure in his life, to share their incredible story. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce you to Rana and Zach Bates. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Fresh off his finish at Canyons 100K, Zach Bates and his mom, Rana. But Zach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, it's been a week since you finished Canyons. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I felt tired the past week.
Okay, yeah, I'll bet you did. How are your legs feeling right now?
They're feeling pretty good.
All right. Have you gone on a run since you've been back?
No.
No. I heard that that things were a little kind of rough after you got home. Just like I heard you were walking around backwards just because it just kind of hurt to walk forwards and take stairs.
Oh, after Coldwater.
After Coldwater, got it. Okay, great. So let's talk about Canyons 100K. How did the day go for you?
The day went pretty good. At the beginning, I decided I was gonna walk up all the hills and run the flats.
That's a smart strategy. Yeah. So did you run into any issues during Canyons at all?
Doing any issues? I don't think I had issues during Canyons, no.
That's great. You finished in 17 hours and 27 minutes, which is a great time. And it's 16,000 feet of elevation gain, which is a lot. Basically, it's the Western States course, a portion of it, but in reverse. And so how did it feel to be running on the Western States course?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big runners there, and it's really nice there. I think there's a lot of good scenery.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. I'm only a few miles away from there, and I just can't get enough of being out there. It's just such a wonderful, special place. And it's really great that you appreciate it so much. So I wanted to ask you a couple more questions about Canyons. What was your nutrition like that day? I heard that you got food poisoning the day before the race. Is that right?
Yeah, I did.
That must have been pretty worrisome going into the race the next day, not knowing how your gut is going to be feeling.
Yeah. I think during the race, I was eating a little bit more food than I was used to. I was trying to eat a little bit more.
And what kind of food were you eating?
Well, I was eating, I think I eat fruit snacks and bars and stuff.
We
And
kind of have this nutrition plan for him where we generally try to give him about 400 calories an hour. Whether or not he takes it all, we do like 200 calories of tailwind, and then we do a gel and some sort of 100 calorie snack. And we gave him enough nutrition on his person to do that. And he was taking all of that in, plus he was adding in from the aid stations because he was so sick the night before. The only thing he had eaten the day before was 2 cups of white rice. And so we just really needed to kind of really encourage him to eat more. And he did amazingly well with that.
Yeah.
And with food poisoning comes dehydration. So I'll bet that was a big concern going into the day because it was a rather warm day there in Auburn and Forest Hill.
The day before, I did take an IV to help hydrate me.
Mm-hmm. That was smart. That probably was very key in your success of finishing. Dad
was able to help with me with that because he's giving people IVs because he's a doctor. So
good. Well, great. So, you know, ultra running events always teach us lessons, especially the longer distances. And I wanted to know, did you learn anything about yourself or about running ultras that day?
I think it's all real great. I like the of what I can do, I guess. Seems good.
Yeah.
And how did your preparation go leading up to states? Because 16,000 feet of elevation gain is a lot. And I know you're accustomed to running in heat and also running at elevation in terms of the elevation gain. So how were you able to train for that?
Well, we do have like one little mountain by our house that I was running up and down a lot. And it, I used it, and it had a steeper side too that I would walk up because it was really steep up the power lines of the mountain, and then there's the road that goes up that's also steep.
Yeah. So how many feet of elevation have you gotten since January?
I got 96,000.
Whoa. 96,000 feet of elevation just this year?
Yes.
That's whoa. So you're about to break 100,000 feet of elevation gain like pretty soon.
Yep.
That's got to feel pretty great. I got to check you out on Strava. It must look so cool.
He's been working hard.
So I came about your story, Zach, because I was at Canyons and I was walking up the road to Forest Hill to the 50K finish line and the aid station. And I saw that NBC Nightly News was there and your mom was there too. And so I stopped and I thought, well, there's a story here. What's the story? And it turns out, you know, they're covering a story about you and your mom is there to crew for you. And your mom is here with us because she's such, I think, an important figure in your story in ultra running. That you had an idea. We're going to get to that idea in just a moment, and she basically became your coach, your nutritionist, you know, and your crew all wrapped in one. And it's such an amazing story. So I kind of want to jump into that, you guys. So, you know, as I said at the top of this episode, that Zach has autism, and his autism, what seems to be that it is such a strength for his running. In that, you know, I believe I understand it. I believe that he can really focus and he can endure pain, which are two things that are really hard to master in ultra running and usually chew people out. And they just like say they quit, but that's not the case for Zach. So we're gonna get more into this. There's so many questions I have, Zach. I'm so excited that you're here, and you too, Rana. I wanted to start with autism. So, Mom, can you just explain to the audience generally what autism is?
Well, it's kind of it's a spectrum. So there's, you know, milder cases and more people that have more difficulty with some of the symptoms of autism. And basically it's a neurodiversity. They think about things differently. They experience the world in a different way. They experience kind of sensory input in a different way. And so, with Zach, he, sensory input, usually people with autism have extra sensory problems. He has kind of the opposite end where he is a little bit tougher as far as pain goes. And so that's been kind of a blessing for him in ultra marathoning. But as far as the spectrum goes, there's a wide variety. I mean, usually there's deficits in communication skills or social interactions, and usually there's some stemming, to try to kind of deal with some of those sensory issues that people have. And so, everybody on the spectrum is different. Another thing that happens with autism is that usually there is a hyper focus, which has also been a real blessing for Zach, because, he loves running. He loves learning about running. And so he focuses in on that and he just loves it.
And one thing about Zach is that he's also an amazing runner. That according to my data, that he has 3 podium finishes, that at the Wackadoo 50 miler that he took 2nd overall and 1st place male. At Mountain Pass 50K, he came under 6 hour, 10th overall, 7th male. And that at the Coldwater Rumble 100 mile, which happened just a few months ago in January, he came in at 28 hours, 6 minutes and 38th overall, 29th male, which are amazing statistics. So we're going to dive into just what makes you such a great runner. But Mom, can you tell us about what is it about Zach that makes him such a unique runner?
Well, he just loves it so much. He has this unique ability ever since he was little to just really zoom in mentally about things that are just super big challenges. So he's really interested in, maybe the fastest or the most or the biggest or the smallest in whatever it is. So he used to just really study up a lot on different world records and things like that. And he just really loved that. And then, when he got into running, that became focused on running. And so he started studying a lot of what people could do, how hard they could push their body, how far or fast they could go. And that was a huge motivator for Zach. He wanted to do those things that he saw other people doing. And, the nice thing about him is that he's able to just stay focused on those things and have the desire to do them and not have those mental blocks that a lot of people put on themselves. And he sees that, well, those people did it, so why couldn't I do it?
Mm-hmm. Zach, for you, why do you like running so much?
I just enjoy it. I've always liked it.
And why do you like running ultras? And the bigger question.
Well, I've seen other people do it. I've seen it, and it looks really cool. I like challenges, and it's like a journey.
Do you have any personal heroes when it comes to ultra runners? People you like to follow?
Multiple people I think is cool.
Yeah.
I have seen there's Camille Heron, there's Dean Carnassus, there's Eunice Lewis. There's some people.
What's incredible is that most people your age, they don't recognize these names. They don't know who they are. And that's what makes you extra special, is your age, because it's not typical for someone to know about ultra running and then to do it. But something happened last year where you had an idea that you wanted to run 100 miles. So where did that idea come from? Why did you want to do it? And then what did you tell your mom?
Idea. I've seen other people on YouTube do ultras. I want to do it. And I've asked my mom. She thought that was a lot.
That is a lot. Mom, what did you think when he said, Mom, guess what?
Well, I knew he had his mind on bigger things because during his senior year of high school, he was asking to do marathons. And actually, for a couple of years, he'd been asking to do marathons. And we really wanted to do that for him his senior year. But the COVID was so bad during that time that a lot of races were being canceled. We were kind of nervous to even sign up for one. And he'd been training on his own a little bit more and more further distances during that year. And we thought, well, he's ready, but these races just aren't going to happen. And he started studying longer and longer distances and just really got excited. And so at that point, I knew that it was something that he really wanted to do. And I, want him to be able to do the things that he wants to do. And so, when he came to us on graduation day and said, hey, before my next birthday, I'm going to run 100 miles. I'm like a little overwhelmed, but like, how can we make that happen? Let's kind of start out smaller. Let's think of some smaller races. Let's time this out in such a way that, you can accomplish this goal, but let's do it safely so that you don't get hurt. And so we just kind of started out small. We started with a half marathon, and then we did a marathon and 50-mile race. And I don't know, he's had about a race every single month since last August. And so we've just worked really hard to prepare him and just take the steps and study books and do all the things that we need to do to make sure we did it in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm. So, and how much time did you have to prepare for this 100-mile race?
I think I had about 6 months.
I mean, everyone, you just take a knee and think about that for a second, because that's such an aggressive goal to run 100, but also to do it on that timeline. It's so short, relatively speaking. Mom, are you a running family? Did you know about ultra running prior to Zach doing all his research?
Not really. I mean, I had run a marathon, 14 years ago, and that's the only running. I went from couch to marathon and did that. But other than that, we don't run as a family, but Zach has always loved running, and we like to support what he's doing. And so, we just had to learn a lot. We got some books and just started studying. Sorry, our dogs.
That's okay. We love dogs here. No problem.
So, we just started studying. We just decided we needed to know what to do. And so we got some books, we studied, we trained, and, learned a lot from just people that we met. We started kind of interacting with people on social media, bouncing ideas off of them, and, just building up kind of a community around us and trying to find people that he could run with. So we just worked hard to try to surround ourselves with information and people who had the knowledge.
What was that? What was your takeaway getting to know the ultra community? Just thinking, okay, this is a lot. There's a lot to do here to do this safely, for anybody to do it safely, especially when you're younger, because your body feels like it's invincible. I can do anything. And but still, it's like a big unknown. So what did you think when you are introducing yourselves to the ultra running community?
I think some of the people I've seen are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of kind people out there. Yeah, that's one of the things that we noticed right away. I think that this sport is unique, and that I think there's a lot of people in this sport that are just trying to get away from hard things in their life, and they're using this as a tool to be healthy, and it's just kind of a beautiful thing. And so people in this community are just super supportive of one another, and we've noticed that everybody that we've met has gone out of their way to give us support or advice, or check out this particular equipment, or maybe try this or that. And we haven't had any negative experiences with anybody in the ultra running community. It's just been like we're part of the family immediately, and that's just been really beautiful.
It's pretty great. Once an ultra runner, always an ultra runner, Zach, and it's so great to have you in this club. I wanted to ask you, Mom, about Zach's training and when it comes to running on new trails, and you guys have a system in place regarding that. Can you tell us more about that?
So one of the things that we've done is we've kind of put some safety measures. So one of the things that we do is just go and hike a trail together as a family before we send him out alone on it. We want him to have his eyes on it, and we want to point out, okay, now look at these. There's trail markers on the trails in our community, and watch out for the diamonds. Each one that's marked is a quarter mile apart. If you go too far and you haven't seen a diamond for a while, you might need to backtrack. And just kind of trying to teach him the skills of what to watch for and where the turns are on particular runs. We got him a Garmin watch, and we've got him the All Trails map that he can follow. And so, with those safety measures and knowing that we can live track him, and it's been a positive thing. There's a couple times where he's gotten lost on a trail, or just kind of lost the trail and wasn't sure exactly where he was.
I did get lost on a trail one time. I forgot which trail it was, but I found the trail again. Yeah.
We all do it. We all do it. I've done it more times than I want to admit to you, Zach. Okay.
So I live track him, and I say, okay, well, just go left and keep going straight. I'm going to watch you on this map, and there's a road up there. Once you get to that road, turn left, and I'll be able to meet you up at that road. And so that's happened a couple of times, and it just gives me a lot of comfort knowing that we have the technology to make sure that he's safe out there.
Right. Autism is underrepresented in ultra running. So what's this experience been like for you? For you both? Yeah.
Feels like it's been good for me. I've really liked it. I've the media, there's a lot of media towards me. I think it's been real great. I feel like I've been the motivation to people, maybe.
Yeah,
that's been a real surprise to Zach. I don't think he realized at first, kind of the influence that he's been on people. It took him a while to realize that what he's doing is a real motivator to people. They're inspired, and it's just been kind of a blessing to be on social media and to have so many people reaching out to us and say things like, this gives me hope for my child. This gives me the motivation to allow them to go out and reach these difficult dreams that they have. And so, for Zach, he's super humble about it, but at the same time, he really loves the fact that, he's able to be kind of this little bit of light to somebody and be able to shine that and give them, the motivation to go out and reach their dreams and do their hard things that they want to do.
Did you think that you would be at this place in time, on this platform where you have a voice, and you have a lovely voice with a lot of important things to share, just by you being you? And here we are a year later from the start of this awesome journey.
Yeah. Well, I didn't ever think about that.
It was just kind of a happy accident. So one thing I heard is a story about Zach, where you left the house to go run around the block for a few hours. And I think that might have been the beginning of this. Can you tell us that story?
I don't know how it was a while ago.
You were a sophomore in high school.
Okay, I was a sophomore in high school. I was mad about something. I forgot what I was mad about. So then I went outside and ran, and I was just kind of just running for a long time, I guess. I just wanted to I don't know.
Clear your head, huh?
Yeah.
And how long did you clear your head for?
I went for like 3.5 hours.
I love this. You're such an ultra runner. It's just like it's in your blood. It's just who you are. It's so cool. It is so very, very cool. Like
the beautiful thing about this story is just that it really kind of taught us some lessons about him being able to self-regulate those emotions. So he was, feeling stressed, and he recognized that day that running helped him calm down. It helped him regulate that in a way that was healthy and beautiful. And he found something that he can do to help him when he's feeling anxiety or stress or, anger or frustration. And ever since then, he knows what to do. And we haven't had issues with him feeling those things and not knowing what to do about it. And so running has been a huge blessing in his life, just regulating those feelings.
And that must be a bit of a load off your own mind too, about that.
Yeah, for sure.
So as you started your ultra journey a year ago, what were some hurdles that you faced in the very beginning of that?
Well, we first had to learn. So we got a book by
It's that Scott Jurek
Scott
book.
Jurek.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it's right behind you.
Oh,
It might be, yes.
well, we read that book and it had a lot of things to help us. And later, we got my coach to help me. So, Coach Nicodemus.
Yeah, I want to talk about Coach Nicodemus, Nicodemus Holland, who is a very special runner because you two have quite a bit in common. In that when he was 19 years old, he competed in Badwater. When he was 22 years old, he did Barclays and finished it. No easy feats. So tell us more about Nicodemus and what makes him so special to you.
He seems really great guy to me. He is pretty athletic. I can tell when I run with him.
Do you learn a lot from him?
Yeah.
So he's great at helping Zach kind of get his stability and his ankles and that leg mobility and kind of, he's really smart. He's just intelligent.
Oh yeah, he's smart.
Yeah, he understands the anatomy and knows what Zach needs to do in order to improve. And he's really tapered us back. Before we went into having him as a coach, we were training Zach from a training schedule that was way harder than we should have been doing at that point. I was getting tired and discouraged, and running was getting a little less exciting for a little while, but he still had this goal. And at that point, we started just kind of questioning, what are we doing wrong? What can we do? And we decided finally that we really needed some help. And so, I reached out to the Run Flagstaff store, and he was, Nicodemus was an employee at their Run Sedona store, and they suggested him as a coach for Zach. And it's just been a perfect fit. We just really appreciate him. He paced Zach on the 100-miler at Coldwater during the last 20 miles. And it was a grueling 20 miles. And he just was so positive and motivating to Zach during that last part. Just built him up.
He was really nice.
That's so important to have someone like that you can trust and rely on because they are so experienced. So Mom, what was that 100-mile experience like for you as you guys were heading into the night time, which is a completely different thing to be running at night. So what was that experience for you, Zach and Mom?
You go first.
The 100-miler.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really great. I went out there. At first I was going slow. Well, yeah. You try to make sure you go slow so you can do the whole run. Mm-hmm. So I was going nice and slow, walking up some of the hills, and so to make it. And I think I felt pretty good for the first 40 miles. And I was getting more tired after that, and around 90 miles is when I had that hip injury.
So for me, I was, just kind of sitting back at our camp. It was a 20-mile loop, so we got to see him every 20 miles. And so each lap got a little bit longer and a little bit longer. And I think partway through his third lap, it started getting dark and he had to finish that lap on his own, but it was a lot of pacer for the last 40 miles. So our friend John Hendricks took him from mile 60 to mile 80. And It went slow, but it was relatively smooth, even though Zach was tired and his legs were sore, and but it went relatively smooth. And then Nicodemus took over at mile 80, and at that point, it was late. We were tired. We were kind of beyond. I think we knew we were going to pass the goal of the 24-mile or 24-hour mark, and we were worried, him feeling discouraged about that. And it was just cold. We were just cold out there.
Mhm.
And I remember we lost contact with him because his phone died. And so we weren't able to get the live tracking anymore. And so, that last 20 miles was stretching out really long, and we had no idea where he was. And every once in a while, Nicodemus would give us a text. And at some point, I think it was when he was about 91 miles in, I was just laying in my sleeping bag on the cot, just shivering. It was so cold, and I got this text from Nicodemus with this video of Zach just limping with this stick, and I was like, oh man, we need some support. We need prayers out there for Zach, because he wants this so bad. And so I sent that video out to our followers on TikTok, and just asking people, pray for Zach, give him some good vibes. And so at that point, we're just waiting, and I'm thinking, man, is he going to be able to make it? He wants this so bad. Please let him finish this goal. But Zach was just determined, and I texted Nicodemus back. I'm like, just find somebody that has some Tylenol. Maybe we can push this through. We've got several hours left before the cutoff, which was 32 hours. Even if he has to limp the rest of the way, I think he can make it before the cutoff.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just kind of hard knowing that he was out there hurting. And I didn't want to say, hey, come back to camp, because I knew that he really wanted his goal. I knew that he really wanted it. And so, I had this choice. Either I save him from this pain, or I let him accomplish this goal. And I knew that he would push past the pain to reach his goal. And I just had to deal with that.
That is such an important lesson for any crew, especially parents. I've seen parents who see their children struggle in an ultra, and you just want to save them. You want to make the pain go away. But having to divorce yourself from that to, this is their goal, this is their dream, I have to do what I can to help them realize it, and it's going to be okay. So that's a tough one to do. And that was, his first 100, the first of many that are coming. So it's really great that you're able to have that mind shift to that. Let's hope that never happens again.
Yeah.
So I have a few more questions for you guys. So Zach, what's next on your race calendar? I can't wait to hear it.
Well, I have a 28K it's in Utah. What's it called again?
It's the Speed Goat.
The Speed Goat.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
wow.
So it's a UTMB race, and so I could get running stones for that race.
Oh boy.
Another race is during like October. It's Javelin 100.
That is so exciting. That's such a great race. Jamil does such a good job. And that's such a famous race too, with so many people being out there and lots of elite runners joining that, and to be at the start line with all those people must feel pretty good.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. And you're doing incredible runs. To come from Arizona to Canyons 100K, that's no easy feat. That's one of the hardest 100Ks in the country. It has a reputation for just being, it's ugly. And you did it. And you're like, all right, more please. Let's go do Speed Goat, and let's go do Javelina. And I imagine that you're collecting stones now for UTMB. So that's somewhere in your future. You're taking your dreams and they're going from dreams to making plans. How does that feel?
Because I do like it. Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah. What which races are you dreaming about in addition to UTMB? Is Western States something you
Yeah.
want to do?
I want to do Western States. And another race I'm thinking about doing maybe is Cocodona 250.
Oh boy. Yeah. You you set the bar high for yourself. It's so very cool. And what's neat about you, Zach, is that when I talk about these events and running, your face just lights up. Your eyes light up. Your smile gets a little wider. It's so cool to see your enthusiasm and your passion for this, and that you're making such a big difference for folks. I wanted to ask you about, putting running aside, what do you like to do for fun?
I did a little bit of running. I think I have enjoyed when I've done it. I think I would like to do more. I like hikes too.
Uh-huh.
Hikes are fun. Like
And
going camping.
I understand too that you are interested in Guinness Book of World Records,
Yeah.
and that you tried setting one yourself with a pogo stick. Is that right?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Pogo stick one. I think people have done a lot more than me, but I think I did. I don't remember how much I did. It was a long time ago. I did thousands of pogo stick jumps.
Wow, Mom, that must have been a lot.
Yeah, it was really fun. He would go out there every day and he's like, okay, yesterday I got 1,532 or whatever it was. And he'd the next day, try to bounce that many more times than that to beat his high score. And I think finally when he was like, okay, I've done enough pogo sticking, it was over 5,000 in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
But he just gets these things in his head, determined, and he goes after it and is focused on it until he gets as far as he wants to get with it.
Zach, you're so interesting. I love your story so much. And I understand that there's a documentary film in the works. Can you guys tell us more about that?
It's
So Holt Hamilton Films is producing a documentary about Zach. They paper, and I had posted that on Facebook, and his wife came across it on Facebook, Travis's wife, and showed it to him. Within an hour he called me and talking about wanting to do a documentary about Zach's journey to the 100-mile race at Coldwater. And so we made arrangements for that to happen. They came out to our house, interviewed each of us in our family, came out to the race, documented every moment of that journey. And so we've got pretty much all of the filming done for the documentary. I think probably 95% of it's complete. And so we're at a point right now where we're just looking for sponsors, ways to get this done. And so, we've got to get all the editing and all of that done. And we're kind of a little bit at a standstill, but it's going to happen. There's no doubt it's going to happen. Somebody will come along and help us get that project done.
That's so cool. So very cool. So just a few more questions for you. Mom, what should parents of autistic children know? What do you want them to know?
I just want them to know that their kids can do more than we realize. They have hopes, they have dreams, and we have hopes and dreams for them too. But we need to listen to their hopes and dreams, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. And when, especially with the hyper focus, generally they are really into whatever they're into. Listen to them, hear them. And then even if it's outside of your realm of what your hopes and dreams are for them, help them get what they love. And they'll surprise you. They'll surprise you at how amazing they'll do with what they love.
Those are wonderful words. We have a family member in our family who is on the spectrum with autism, and he is a prodigy when it comes to playing the piano. And now he's on a full ride scholarship, playing the piano and pursuing his dream. I just think it's a beautiful thing. So Zach, what do you want people with autism to know?
To just that you be able to do what you want to do. So
Yeah, that's good advice. So we're in just the tail end of the month of April, and April is Autism Awareness Month. And so I wanted to know if you could direct people where to go to learn more about autism and donate.
Well, we've had a lot of interaction this past year with Autism Speaks, and we really appreciate them. They have a lot of good information on their website, autismspeaks.org. And, you can donate to Autism Speaks. You can do an autism walk. There's just lots and lots of different ways. There's local community autism organizations that you can go to in your own community if you want to stay, local. But if you don't know where to go to locally, Autism Speaks is a really great place to go and give support.
Autism Speaks. Zach, I have a feeling that we'll be seeing a whole lot more of you, and I know I'll be seeing you in person someday soon. I cannot wait for that. Until then, have a wonderful time on the trails and keep going. Just keep doing it. We need more people like you, and I'm so glad we could meet. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much.